Welcome back. You're watching India Business Hour on CNBC-TV18. Let's now focus on a big CNBC-TV18 news break. After weeks of simmering tensions, Mehli Mistry has decided to part ways with Tata Trusts. CNBC-TV18 was the first channel to report on Mistry's letter to Noel Tata at 6:25 p.m. on the 4th of November, and the story was later confirmed by a copy of the letter released by Mistry's office. In his letter, Mistry said that he wants to part ways and put a quietus on speculative news reports that are inimical to the interests of Tata Trusts. The former board member of Tata Trusts said that it was his privilege to serve as trustee till the 28th of October. Mistry said it was his responsibility now to ensure that Tata Group is not plunged into a controversy, and precipitating matters would cause irreparable harm to the Tata Group. There have been strong differences among trustees at Tata Trusts ever since former Defence Secretary Vijay Singh was removed from the Tata Sons board. Tata trustees, which include Noel Tata, Venu Srinivasan, Vijay Singh, Jahangir H.C. Jahangir, Darius Khambhata and Pramit Javeri, have been divided over how Tata Sons should be governed. Mehli Mistry was a key member of the Tata Trust till the 28th of October, when he was ousted, with 3 out of 5 trustees voting against his reappointment. Will this now bring an end to tensions within the Tata Trust, which owns 66% stake in Tata Sons? And how will this episode impact the relationship between Tata Trust and Tata Sons? Those are the two big future developments to watch out for. I'm now joined by H.P. Ranina, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, and Thomas Matthew, author of Ratan Tata, A Life, joins us now. This is an important discussion to look at the future roadmap ahead of Tata Trusts. Dr. Matthew, thank you very much for being with us. Do you feel that Mehli Mistry's letter and his decision to part ways somehow puts an end to a difficult chapter of tensions within trustees at Tata Trust?
Yes, there is no doubt regarding that. I think it was a very welcome decision, and it has put an end to all speculation that Tata Trust is going to implode. And Mr. Renena last time and I were on the same panel, and we said that we need not consider these tremors as earthquakes, because the members in the Tata Trusts are mature enough to understand that this organization exists primarily for serving the people of this country and society. And therefore, they would not, at the end of the day, do anything that will precipitate a situation which will erode the very sanctity of the organization and the philosophical foundation laid down by the founder, Jamshedji Tata. So I think it's a welcome decision, and I think it's a great decision.
Right. Mr. Ranina, to ask you why Mehli Mistry would take such a decision. He had earlier filed a caveat with the Charity Commissioner's office saying that whenever there is any change in Tata Trusts, he should get a hearing. It seemed as if he was getting ready to challenge the decision of the trustees. Why do you think he has now decided to part ways?
Well, Parikshit, first of all, thank you for having me on the show. I would like to say that Mehli Mistry has acted very graciously. He's a very gracious person, a man of great distinction, a man who has served the trust with devotion, dedication, and given everything in him. Even when he's abroad, he looks after any interest of the trust whenever he's called upon to do so. So I would like to commend him. I would like to salute him for the gracious action he has taken. He has said very clearly that the institution is above any individual, and he cares more for the institutions rather than his own personal privilege or power. So I think it's a very good decision, and that is perhaps what has made him take this decision, because he's a true friend of the Tata family and of the Tata charities, and he doesn't want to do anything which will in any way tarnish the image of the Tata Group or the Tata Trusts. Therefore, he has written this letter, As far as the caveat is concerned, that's a separate issue. We don't know how it will pan out, but it can just lapse or whatever may happen in future. But all that I would like to say is he has been very gracious. And I would also like to say one more thing, that the other members of the trust should reciprocate and be magnanimous. And if I were in their place, I would re-invite Mehli Mistry to join the trust again.
Right. I would also like to ask you, Mr. Ranina, that once the charity commissioner gets a representation from the CEO of Tata Trusts or from the Secretariat of Tata Trusts that there has been a change in board management, at that time, will Mehli Mistry be called upon to give his view? It's a quasi-judicial body. Does it work like that? Does a view from Mehli Mistry count at this stage? Is that mandatory, or is it now up to him to withdraw that caveat that he's filed before the charity commissioner?
Parikshit, the correct procedure is normally whenever there's a change report, the person who has resigned or who has ceased to exist is asked voluntarily by the charity commissioner. In other words, even if no caveat had been filed, he would have been asked for, he would have been given an opportunity of putting his view and confirming. He has to once again confirm that he has ceased to be a trustee. That's the normal procedure. So whether the caveat has been filed or not, he would still have been called. Now the question is what happens then? And the charity commissioner is also wanting to know why has this happened. Because normally a charity commissioner wants to know whether there's anything wrong which a person has done. Why should he be ousted? Because it's a charitable organization, and if a man is of honorable character, then why should he be ousted? Some inquiry could be made by the charity commissioner's office, because there have been times in the past where people have been ousted for whatever reason. So there has to be some logical reason, some cogent reason for ousting him, and that inquiry can be made suo motu by the charity commissioner himself, because he wants to know whether there's anything wrong happening in the trust and why has this person been ousted. So certainly things will be done, even if Mehli does not want to contest it, but he may be asked to give his explanation. He may be given an opportunity of being heard, and let's see what Mehli has to say before the charity commissioner's office.
Right. Dr. Matthew, can you break this down for us? Today, Mehli Mistry has said that he wants to put a quietus on speculative media reports. He wants to part ways. He does not want to cause irreparable damage to the reputation of the Tata Group. But his thinking, and probably the thinking of the other camp within the trust, clearly the trust was divided into two camps. Could you give us the crux of the difference in thinking within Tata Trusts as to how Tata Sons needs to be governed for the future? What is really at the crux of this issue?
See, Parishad, I will not be able to put my fingers on the real of reason, but there are many reported reasons. Now, let me put one thing straight here. Tata Trust does not govern Tata Sons. Tata Sons is a private company. It is a core investment company, and it cannot be controlled by Tata Trusts. Yes, of course, the directors in the board of Tata Sons, who are representative of Tata Trusts, do have enormous influence and have also, in certain cases, veto power, because their affirmative approval is required in many cases, especially with regard to large investment, where there's a dilution of the holdings of the trust, etc. Now, I think it is primarily, this problem arose basically because of perception. Some of the newspapers said that the trusts were not briefed about the meetings and the proceedings of Tata Sons. I'm purely going by press reports. But if that is the case, then it is a very dangerous trend, because the minutes of the meetings of the board of directors of Tata Sons cannot actually be shared by anybody to Tata Trusts, because it can be open to challenge. And as Mr. Chandra has said very often, he could be called to explain the policies, give the raison d'etre for any decision. But sharing the exact details of the decision with the entire Tata Trust may not be in consonance with good governance. Now, if this is exactly what caused the explosion, well, then I think we have settled the matter with Mr. Mehli Mistry actually writing the letter. Like Mr. Ranaina said, we do not know what's going to happen to the caveat that's filed. But in the light of the letter written by Mr. Mistry, I personally believe that there would be no further pursuance of logical conclusion or further, moving this matter forward. That's my personal opinion, because both will be self-confident.
All right.
But at the end of the day, please, Parishad, we understand it's a very welcome decision.
Absolutely. Mr. Ranina, coming back to you now, the next board meeting of Tata Trust will happen on November 11. We're yet to know the agenda of that board meeting. But do you think going forward, somewhere there will have to be a change in the way Tata Trusts operates and also has a controlling stake over Tata Sons? Do you think the manner in which both sides work with each other, the trust probably has a supervisory or a guiding role over Tata Sons, do you think some of this could see a change and will definitely have to see a change?
Well, not on November 11th. That will be a meeting for other items. Maybe over a period of time, things will change. It all depends on whether they bring in additional trustees in place of Mr. Mehli Mistry. There's only one issue which somehow bothers me. That before Mr. Mehli Mistry's ouster on 28th of October, there was this election of Mr. Vijay Singh. Question is, was Mr. Vijay Singh reappointed for life as per the resolution passed on 28th October 2024? Or was he reappointed for the period which is mentioned in the original trust deed of Sir Ratan Tata Trust? So if
Are you speaking about Venu Srinivasan or Vijay Singh?
I think Mr. Vijay Singh. I don't know. I think Mr. Vijay Singh or Venu, I don't know who was reappointed, but somebody was reappointed. So I only want to know whether it was for life or was it under the terms of the original trust deed, whatever the period is mentioned there. I don't know what that period is. Now, if it is for life, then obviously they have followed the decision which they had passed on 17 October 2024. And therefore, if they say that that decision is contrary to law, that is life term, because you can't go against a trust deed. If it is contrary to law, then even that appointment would be invalid. So one has to find out whether, because even a change report would be filed for that as well, when there is an extension of the term or whatever. So this will lead to a peculiar situation. Was he appointed for life? Or was he appointed for the original period mentioned in the trust deed? Because if he was appointed for life, that means they've acted on the decision of 14th October 2024, and now they can't go back on it when it comes to Mehli Mistry. So this will raise a big issue, a legal issue.
All right, that indeed is an important point. And what we are told that every trustee has to be reappointed for life, and the reappointment has to be a unanimous approval of all trustees. So in Venu Srinivasan's case, he would have had to be reappointed unanimously by everyone. And in the case of Mehli Mistry, that was not a unanimous decision. It was 3:2. But you made an important point, Mr. Ranina. Let's see how this plays out at the Office of Charity Commissioner and whether Mehli Mistry decides to take up any kind of legal action following this letter where he has decided to amicably part ways. Dr. Matthew, Mr. Ranina, thank you very much for being with us on the program. All right, that's all we have time for here on India Business Hour. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.